The New South Wales city of Armidale has been hit by a tornado overnight as the state was battered by a series of storms causing major damage and power cuts. The supercell hit the Central West at around 10 o'clock last night. This is just some of the damage in Armidale this morning. There have been more than 100 calls for help in that region.
It's one of a series of vicious storms that hit the east coast over the past 24 hours. They caused havoc in Sydney's west, and there are further storm warnings further north into Queensland this morning. We'll take you to Armidale very shortly, but first let's get an update from Magnaz Anguri at Mount Druitt in Western Sydney. Magnaz, the damage there was pretty incredible.
That's right, Lisa. We saw some crazy weather in Sydney yesterday. In southwest and western Sydney, we had the most severe thunderstorm we've had in a very long time, according to the Bureau of Meteorology. We had huge hail and very intense rainfall here. I'm here at the Mount Druitt shopping centre, where the roof actually collapsed into the building, into a Best and Less store, which was a shocking sight for the people that were here shopping yesterday. I actually live in southwest Sydney, and I was driving home from the grocery store when the storm started, and the hail and the rain was so heavy that you could barely see ahead. I made a call to SES this morning, and they told me they had more than 457 calls for help because of the damage and the intense rain and hail we had yesterday. And the warnings are continuing. We are set to have more bad weather today, but more towards the Queensland border.
And this tornado in Armidale caused a bit of damage.
That's right. The tornado lashed through Armidale last night at around 10 p.m, causing significant damage in the area. There was cars that were turned upside down. There was roofs that came off houses and power lines and trees that fell. The SES said they had 127 calls from Armidale alone, and about 4,000 homes were left without power. And the university campus there was actually forced to shut as well because of the damage there. Here's what the SES had to say about the situation in Armidale.
Half of the town is currently without power, and we've received 122 requests for assistance, with the locality of the North Hill being particularly severely struck. We have 122 outstanding jobs, and we're working as quickly as we can to get to those jobs. But it is going to take us some time, and I'm asking for your patience. Our current focus, as well as our other emergency services, is on the clearing of roads so people can get out and we can get in case of an emergency.
So some wild weather across New South Wales, and it does look like the people in Armidale and southwestern and western Sydney will spend most of their day today cleaning up after the damage.
All right, Magnaz, thank you. Back to our top story, and let's take you to Armidale in New South Wales, which has been battered by that tornado overnight. Reporter Patrick Bell joins us. Patrick, what can you tell us?
Good morning, Lisa. Well, it was an extraordinary night for residents at Armidale on the New South Wales Northern Tablelands. This tornado touching down at about 10 o'clock at night, and we were warned that the Northern Tablelands could see some quite severe storm activity yesterday, but I don't think anybody expected a tornado. And some of the vision that I think you've been showing throughout the morning shows people who were kind of out having a look at what the storm activity was doing, but as soon as that tornado came down, they were shutting off the cameras on the phone and heading straight indoors. It's been, as tornadoes are, a pretty localised event. As you drive into Armidale from the south, there doesn't look to be too much damage at all from the storm. It's certainly been windy, and there is some leaves and debris on the ground. But here in the northern part of Armidale, where I am now, you can see some quite serious damage to the roofs of homes, where shingles and tiles have come off, other sort of sheets of corrugated iron blown away, trees that are lopsided coming down. The University of New England has told us that the tornado touched down very close to their campus, and it was so strong that it picked up mature trees and put them down in a different location. So huge wind speeds. We don't have an accurate reading of the wind speed at the moment, just because it hasn't passed over any of the Bureau's weather stations, but quite the speeds to see that kind of damage, Lisa.
Still a bit gusty where you are as well. I can see from the gripping onto the umbrella and the damage behind you. That's going to be quite a clean-up, isn't it?
It will be, Lisa. Just driving through these couple of streets in the northern part of Armidale this morning, it is going to be a huge clean-up effort. It's already underway. There are folks already on their roofs trying to do what they can. The State Emergency Service has said that overnight, in 10 minutes, they got upwards of 115 calls. And as day breaks this morning, I suspect they'll have had a few more as people discover damage that they may not have noticed in the darkness last night. So a huge clean-up effort in Armidale, that's right, and it's only just beginning, and we'll get probably a clearer picture of what folks are looking at in terms of that clean-up as we move through the day.
All right, Patrick, thanks very much for bringing us the latest.